Within the United States, there are countless of different communication styles used amongst people of various cultures. In general, the Native American population and the Euro-American population differ in their communication patterns. As you will see, some of these differences are subtle, while others are more distinct. As an educator, it is of utmost importance to be aware of these communication variations. Within your classroom or within your personal life, this documentary will help to guide you through the communication pattern variations that you might encounter. In general, Native American peoples tend to use hand gestures more conservatively and to a smaller degree of emphasis. Euro-Americans, on the other hand, tend to display larger hand gestures in conversational speech with a greater frequency. Frequently, Euro-American speech is very direct. Communication is logical and highly linear with a straight point-by-point storyline. Getting to the point and drawing a conclusion is valued and preferred. On the contrary, in many Native American tribes, an indirect approach is preferred. One exception to this rule is that elders and those held in high respect can be direct in their approaches. Gene Thin-Elk will now elaborate on this indirect approach.
And there's respect for silence. That's where the learning really occurs. And there's less invasive communication. And you wait till someone wants to share something, and then that's the way you learn. And whatever needs to be shared is obviously important because it's being shared.
Proxemics refers to the amount of space people feel is necessary to keep between themselves and others. This is displayed greatly in conversation. In many Euro-American conversations, the arrangement of the speakers is face-to-face. The average distance between people is about an arm's length, or 2 to 3 feet. On the other hand, in Native American conversation, a side-by-side arrangement is preferred. Distance between people varies, depending greatly on the relationship between the speakers. The less familiar the speaker is with the person they are interacting with, the larger the distance becomes. Euro-American speech is typically in mid-range for pitch and spoken in a lower tone of voice. Emotion is relatively absent from speech. Native American speech usually is spoken in a narrower range of pitch and with a quieter volume. Speech-language pathologist Solveig Kort goes into further detail about common stress and intonation patterns of Native American speech.
There's more of a lilt in the and a rising intonation all of the time. There are a few phonetic differences of the kind of the speech sounds of some that aren't used as much, one word that I know is, it's not exclusive to the South Dakota Native culture groups, but "in-it" is one, isn't it? It often comes out "in it," and that it's not, as I said, it's not exclusive, but it is often used. So sort of extra contraction of some of those words. But mostly I hear it in the intonation patterns. That there's a little bit different stress pattern, a little bit different melody of their speech. That is one of the big things I hear.
Gene Thin-Elk goes on to further explain the Native American view of assertiveness in voicing.
If you have a strong, loud voice, they call it assertiveness, But in our way, to a loud voice in there and coming off as strong shows weakness. It shows fear inside. You're trying to be something other than what you are. And that is frowned upon. That is something that's very disrespectful.
Karen Vogel, who was a speech-language pathologist at St. Francis Indian School on the Rosebud Reservation of South Dakota, researched the Lakota Sioux language and found a few differences between the Lakota language when compared to English. She concluded that the R, D, V, F, and TH consonants do not exist in Lakota. This can cause a significant difference in the pronunciation of English words. A few examples include these for these, fetter for feather, and base for vase. For children where Lakota is their first language, it is crucial to realize that dialectal variances are not disorders, they are just differences. Perhaps the area where Native American and Euro-American peoples differ the most in communication is eye contact. Professor and speech-language pathologist Solveig Quart expounds on cultural differences of eye contact and what to keep in mind when teaching students of different cultures.
In mainstream culture, we tend to assume that if someone is not looking at us, that there's something, they're sly, or they're not paying attention when it comes to children in school, or those kinds of things. And that's so not true. It's much more of a respect kind of thing, that using good eye contact, or what a mainstream culture says is good eye contact, is considered rude. And you don't do direct eye contact with elders. You don't do them with people that you don't know well, because it's a challenge. It's rude. It's not appropriate. And so look at me so I know you're listening. No. That's not part of it.
The only time, as a traditional Native person, you look at someone in the eyes is, number one, when you have a great affection for them, and you have permission from them to have that affection, that you can look at them directly in the eyes. The other time is when you're angry at them.
Jean Thanelk explains an example within the classroom about a Native American student whose teacher was angry that the student did not make eye contact with her.
Look at me, I'm talking to you. Look at me in the eyes. That's a young little boy. And he goes, teacher, I listen with my ears, and I hear with my heart. I listen with my ears, I hear with my heart.
These differences in communication styles and values are important to keep in mind in your future careers and throughout all aspects of your life. If you encounter an individual that does not make direct eye contact, speaks quietly, or demonstrates other qualities that differ from your own, keep in mind that these differences might be based off of the individual's cultural beliefs and value system. Differences are not necessarily wrong, they are just different.